without further ado, let's get into a Tottenham update, because we know Spurs are in the market, as Thomas Frank says. We're in the market. We're looking to bring players in. Brennan Johnson's gone. Mohamed Kudus is injured. Odebear went off with an injury yesterday as well. Yeah, he did. Nothing. It didn't look significant, to be honest, but he also went off with a bit of a knock. So we are very short in numbers in the wing areas. And look, if we knew what we knew now, as Thomas Frank said in the press conference, surely he wouldn't have sold Brennan Johnson, but he's gone. He's already made his debut for Crystal Palace, and Spurs are kind of in desperation mode in bringing in some attacking options, as well as a central midfielder, as well as a left back, and any other position which you think Spurs need right now. But we've got a few updates to bring you. And first of all, we're going to talk about Omar Marmoush. The Footy Insider says that Egypt winger Omar Marmoush is not interested in a move to Tottenham. He wants to stay and fight for his place at Man City, amid reports that Spurs and Aston Villa are interested in bringing in the 26-year-old. Marmoush has fallen out of favour under Pep Guardiola this season, having started only 4 matches in the Premier League. So yeah, that's the second rejection, I think. What was the first one? We had one already. I can't remember who, but
Semenyo politely.
Semenyo, that was it.
Politely declined.
Second rejection of the window, 5 days in.
Will Marmoush's be polite, or will it be aggressive?
I think
offended.
It'll be a nice polite rejection.
Look, I would obviously take him. I think we need all the help we can get right now. Marmoush is obviously a brilliant player. We've even seen it for City at times. He's brilliant, and I know this season, I don't know what's gone on with him, but they can't seem to make it work right now, because whether it be on the wing or... I don't know, they don't really play with a second striker. They like more midfielder in that position. But, yeah, I mean, he's going to have so many better offers than Tottenham if he is looking to leave. I don't know if they will sell him because, again, they're in a title race, and I think that he could be very handy in the run-in. So I don't think he's going to leave. But if he was to leave, obviously he's going to start playing a lot of games at Tottenham, but at the moment, we're not creating anything for our attackers, so I don't think he looks at how we're playing and thinks, yeah, I need to be a part of that. And I think his point in his career, he's, 27? Like, he wants to be somewhere where it's a bit more of a functioning team, I assume. Maybe he looks at Tottenham and thinks, oh, there's an opportunity there, and it's a big club who are low down on the table, and I can go and change their fortunes. And obviously he did very well at a team like Frankfurt, who I think were quite a counter-attacking team, so maybe he sees the value there, but I find it so hard to imagine Marmoush looks at the Tottenham project right now and sees, yeah, I want to join that. Well, maybe on loan, but...
Well, he won't, because apparently he's not interested in doing Tottenham.
Yeah.
So that's that one. The next one, actually, I don't have an update, a headline for, but Ali Gold actually reported on Keenan Yildiz, I think earlier this morning or late last night, saying that Spurs do have an interest in Yildiz. However, there is reports in Italy saying he's about to sign a new contract. So... yeah, that's another one down the pan.
Yeah, we will never get him. Not in a million years. He's going to be at Juve for a while. So I think anyone dreaming of Yildiz needs to wake up.
Yeah, look, I think anyone dreaming of an upgrade on Brennan Johnson needs to probably wake up at this point, because you're looking at the state that Spurs are in. Manager situation up in the air. If we do sack Frank over the next week or so, can we convince a player to come here without a manager? If Frank does stay here, can we convince a player to come here with the way we play? So I think there's many questions and not many answers. Next up, Yan Diomande, Sky Sports, same kind of update, saying that Tottenham are among the clubs interested in RB Leipzig winger Yan Diomande. United, PSG and Bayern Munich all monitoring him. The 19-year-old and some scouts feel he is already beyond some top talent playing in the Premier League.
Wow. I mean, it's a lot to say that, considering how much he's played, but maybe he is that special. But it's an expensive gamble. We're signing a player here in Diomande who's younger than the players that we're right now talking about as projects, and they're long-term players, and we need players for right now, and yet we're talking about signing a player who's younger. Now, I get that age is just a number, and if you're ready, you're ready. And if he is that good, then he can come in and he could potentially be better. But I think the point being that Tottenham this window have been saying a lot about how we need ready-made players. We need players who are ready to come in, make an impact at peak age, all this kind of stuff. And then the solution to that potentially being a 19-year-old who's only played 20-odd games, or now maybe, about 20, 25 games in his career at the top level, seems a bit fanciful and far-fetched. I think in another situation, I think it might be a no-brainer. You know, let's say Son was still here and he was our number one winger, you get in Diomande and he can be the future. But when you have Tel and Odebear as your winger options right now, which we do, the fact that we're talking about bringing another 19-year-old with even less experience than them is odd. And I know all the tacticos in the world can tell me how good this guy is. I'm sure there were a bunch of tacticos who tell me how good Tel and Odebear were before we signed them. Doesn't mean he's going to come in the Premier League and hit the ground running. And we've known, and I think it's been a big example this season when you look at a lot of the forwards who've come from the Bundesliga, Xavi, Wirtz, Tel's come in, where you can look very good in that league and then you come to the Premier League and it's very, very different. And I'm not saying that means they're all bad players. I'm just saying there's going to be an adjustment. Potentially could be an adjustment period.
100%.
You know, there's a lot of space to play in the Bundesliga. You come to the Premier League, it's a lot harder. So just because he looks like this in the Bundesliga doesn't mean it's necessarily going to translate. Doesn't mean it won't, but doesn't mean it definitely will. So to sign him for big money when he's 19 to be our first choice option, I'm not saying I don't want him. I'm just saying it's in terms of the whole transfer policy and what we're going for, in my mind, it doesn't line up to what's been suggested.
Correct, 100%. But it's where we are right now. Like, what kind of ready-made player that can come in, hit the ground running, can we even attract right now?
Agreed, which is why I also been talking about people saying, yeah, Frank just needs his players in January and it's going to sort everything. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. He's going to have to deal with what he's got. I don't think it's going to get much better than this.
But there's even rumours of us letting Tel go now as well.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is madness to me.
Which is crazy. Like, look, we might get some players in January. We're not going to get any ready-made stars. I'll be shocked if we do. Maybe we'll get one in, but it's not going to be. We're not going to revamp the squad this January. It ain't going to happen.
We need to. If we are going to do it, which I don't think we are, I think it's highly unlikely. I agree with you. We're going to have to sell them the dream of dreams.
Yeah,
literally, going to have to be the talk of a. God knows.
Maybe Ange could have done that, to be honest, because he's a great talker. But I don't know about what.
Bring in Ange as sporting director. Forget this Johan Lang guy. Bring Ange in as sporting director.
So, yeah, get Diomande in. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be an exciting signing. It's just. Yeah, I'm already considering what I heard from Frank yesterday about Brennan. We were having this discussion, weren't we, when we sold him? Is it an opportunistic sale or is it part of the plan? And Frank pretty much confirmed
it was an opportunistic sale, yeah.
He said it was an opportunity. Sometimes there's a small window to sell a player and we decided to do it. He even said, he admitted, maybe right now it doesn't make sense, but down the line it'll make more sense.
I think...
It's like, okay, what have we done then?
I think this Brennan Johnson sale, after hearing what Frank said, is one of the biggest disgraces, man. It really is ridiculous what we've done here with Brennan Johnson. And I get he wasn't playing, and I get he's not part of the long-term future. But are we not worried about now? Are we genuinely just not worried about the rest of this season? Like, Brennan Johnson was our top goal scorer last season. He was second to Kudus in terms of the right wing. We have no plan of who we're going to bring in, it seems. We're going to be getting rejections after rejections this whole window for top quality players. I guarantee you now there is no chance we bring in a player. I said this to you the other day. No chance that we get someone better than Brennan Johnson in this window.
Well, at least I don't see a chance we get a player who's capable of scoring the goals that Brennan can. We know he's capable of. We know can do it. So, and now Kudus is injured. So I think this whole situation is very, very strange. And we've seen it. We come into this window without a plan again. Like
we've seen it time and time again with this football club. We let players go for no reason. Like, do you remember when we had this conversation about letting Davinson Sanchez go in that window without having another centre back?
We actually let him go after the window closed.
Yeah. And we had no other centre-back. And what happened?
The next game, Romero Van der Ven gets a big injury.
And we let Brennan Johnson go. And what happens? Kudus gets injured the next game. Do we never learn our lessons?
It's shocking. I don't understand why we jumped at the chance. I know 35 million is nothing to be sniffed at, but it's not exactly like the best fee. I think it's a good deal for Palace, if anything. Like, I'm not saying it's not. I think it's his market value, but like in this situation... You have to maybe make Palace pay a bit more if you're going to sell him because we're not in a great situation with our depth right now. So we need Brennan.
I don't care about the fee that we receive. 35 million, yeah, fine, whatever. What I care about is the ability to put players on the pitch that can make a difference. And we've got rid of Johnson, Who as well, yeah, look, don't get me wrong, he wasn't the greatest player in the world, and, you know, we could do a lot better than Brennan Johnson, fine. But for the here and now, we need him. We need him right now. Who'd be starting? He'd be starting on Wednesday if we had him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He could have been brought. You know, Frank after the game, I know this isn't a Brennan Johnson thing, but Frank after the game was talking about he was complaining about his lack of depth. He's saying, I wish I had players to bring on. Well, yeah, you just sold Brennan. I don't know if it was his decision or a club decision or whatever, but we just sold Brennan. And now you're complaining about no one to bring on. When actually Brennan was pretty good in the last few games when off the bench against Palace when he came on, and he also came on the game before against, what was it, Liverpool. He looked quite good. So what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
Now we're complaining.
Look, selling Brennan Johnson essentially isn't the issue here. Selling him without a plan and without players straight away is ridiculous.
It's ludicrous.
Anyway, next up, we're going to talk about Magnus Akliouche. Team Talk saying that Tottenham had scouts in attendance on Saturday to watch Magnus Akliouche in action for Monaco against Lyon. Akliouche is expected to cost upwards of 50 million, a hefty fee, though still below the price RB Leipzig are demanding for Yan Diomande.
Yeah.
Can we convince Akliouche to come?
Maybe.
Before Wednesday?
No, definitely not. I think, again, Monaco in the Champions League, aren't they? They ain't going to let him go before that their Champions League fate is decided. They're going to need him. They know that. So when it comes to Akliouche, I think right now I'll take him, like, for sure. He's a great player, especially with Johnson gone. I think we could really do with him. So for sure, he's a really, really good, talented attacker. I don't know whether we can convince him to come or he's on to bigger things. That's another question.
That's Akliouche. I mean, I would love him at the club, and particularly with the holes that we've got in the squad now, he'll be so valuable to us. We don't know when. We still have no word on Kulusevski. As we've just highlighted, Brennan Johnson's gone and Kudus is out. And there's just been an update on Kudus as well. Frank says in the press conference that he had a scan at 1 p.m. to clarify the severity of the injury he suffered yesterday. The club are waiting on the results. So
it's not. I think he's going to be out for a few weeks at least.
Yeah,
I would say.
Does it
was
look like a hamstring or something?
Yeah, so I would say minimum. I would say he's definitely out for tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, Team Talk are reporting that Tottenham senior scouts believe the club should make Christos Tzolis their top winger target in this January transfer window. Club Brugge would demand a record sale to let Tzolis leave, which means they would demand at least £35 million for the Greek international.
Yeah, I mean, we were linked with him before, haven't we?
Yeah.
And he seems like a good talent and someone who could maybe do well. But again, it's not exactly the names we were promised or whatever, but I think he's having a good season. He seems to be a player with good potential. We just need help, don't we, right now?
Yeah, we need to take anything that we can get. Is he an upgrade on Brennan Johnson?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell you. He might well be. There's a lot of players who might be better players than Johnson. But are they more effective, and can they get the goal contributions that he can? That's another question.
Yeah, look,
but I'm sure he's a good player.
Scored 16 goals last season, 22 the year before, but obviously playing at a much lower level than the Premier League. He's in the Belgian league right now, playing for Club Brugge, and last season he was in the Bundesliga too. So obviously hasn't played anywhere close to the high level, but look, he's very highly rated and highly thought of. He was at Norwich not long ago as well and didn't do too well there, but he has had a taste of Premier League football, which is the point. I think played 14 games in the Premier League for Norwich, but he was very young when he was, because he's 23 now, played in the Premier League in the 21-22 season, so he's about 19 years of age. So that's him. Next one from Paul O'Keefe says that Toulouse 19-year-old French defender Diane Methely is on a list of possible options for left back. And that's obviously, we're chasing Brazilian Sousa as well, which, I mean, I'm not, I don't like this, to be honest, chasing these 19-year-olds left backs, because was having a chat with Brian on the fan show yesterday, and I thought he was absolutely spot on in what he's saying. We can't keep trusting destiny when he keeps getting injured the way gets injured. So if we're going to sign a left back, I want us to sign a first choice left back, not a 19-year-old up and coming left back who might take a year or two to settle and 4 or 5 years to get to his peak. I think we need to sign someone to come in here and now and challenge destiny, or even potentially be better than destiny, because I think it's become evident that we can't trust him.
Yep, again, it comes down to who we can get. It'd probably be easier to attract the left back than it would be a forward player, because they're obviously harder to attain, they're more expensive. Also, we did a video about lists of left backs, and I think some of them definitely attainable.
Like Robinson. There's no reason why we can't attract Robinson.
Yeah, but he's just going to be very expensive. And we have, £150 million war chest apparently this January. So there's no reason not to splash out a bit. But again, we have so much to do. But when it comes to these 19-year-olds, whatever, do I have a strong opinion on it? Yeah, I'd rather we sign a first choice. If I'm looking for someone who's more senior, would I rather spend less on the left back and more on the senior forward players, or the other way around? If it was a choice, then I'd rather go for bigger money in the forward line, of course. But why does it have to be a choice? It shouldn't. We should go for senior players everywhere, of course. Yeah. That's what I'd like. But in terms of within the budget, it seems as though they feel like a left back, if we go for someone a bit more potential over right here, right now, maybe it leaves more money for the forward line.
What about the midfielder?
What about the midfielder? What about everyone? What about the goalkeeper? What about the centre back? It's tough at the moment. Looking at what's going on this window. Look, for me, I just think that this is why I'm so big on Frank doing more with what he has, and we do have players, in my opinion, who can show more, because I don't think there's going to be any sort of parachute coming for him this January. I don't think there's going to be anything serious that's going to be a game changer in January. He might get some more depth and more players, but I don't think it's going to be anything that's wildly better than what we have, is my point. So if he can't do more with what he's got right now, that worries me for what's going to happen if we do get more players in January. How much more he can do with those players would be my point. So yeah, I think at the moment, if we get a left back 19-year-old, I'd rather we got our first choice, but it doesn't bother me as much as long as we spend bigger in the forward line.
Yeah. Look, if we were to buy a significant player in the forward line, I kind of agree with that. But if we're just talking about the back line, can we really persist to be trusting with Destiny Udogie with the rate that he's getting injured? Yeah, since he's joined.
Yeah. Well, look, Van der Ven seemed to have gotten over it in a moment, but hopefully Destiny can do the same. But it hasn't happened. He's had trouble ever since he's come, really, with the hamstring.
But just like we've got Spence and Porro potentially on the right-hand side, you would want similar level on the left-hand side. And a 19-year-old who no one has really heard of doesn't really suggest that.
No.
In terms of team news going into the game on Wednesday, that has just come to me, and Javi Simmons is available again after serving his suspension. That's a welcome return. It says Kudus is considered unlikely to feature, although the club is still waiting for results on the scan he underwent today. Udogie is training and improving, and Solanke is also continuing to train. And Frank said that it will take time for the forward to be back at 100% after missing so much time.
Okay, so some positivity, I guess. Not great on Kudus, to be honest. Don't like the sound of that. So we'll see what develops. But hopefully Solanke's up to speed. It sounds like maybe we'll get to see him back in the next few weeks, but who knows? Udogie, that sounds like he's going to be back soon. So that's good, which we need desperately. But, yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's some mixed news there. Obviously, Javi being back's massive. So let's hope things can improve. Frank said he's going to have to rotate tomorrow on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we're struggling with players to rotate with. So
I'm thinking, who can he actually rotate in the forward line? Moani, probably for Richarlison. On the wings, can he rotate anyone? If Kudus is out, obviously Brennan's gone. Tell and Odebear. I mean, does he really need to rotate Tell and Odebear? Tell's barely played.
Yeah, Tell Odebear doesn't have to, but he's going to have to play Rishi and Moani. That's the only way I have anyone else. Let's put Bergvall on the 10.
I mean,
Xavi.
I think he probably starts Moani up top, Tell and Odebear on the wings, and Xavi in the 10. That's probably what he does. He doesn't need to rotate Tell and Odebear. They barely played.
Yeah, it's true. Shouldn't need to.
So look, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we have brought you today.